It starts with the unexpected loss of something dear. The warmth that comforted and cradled just disappears. And in its place there's nothing, just an endless empty void. The light that showed the way is gone, and darkness takes control. Bitterness and anger are made to fill the void. The path to isolation is the dreams that made me strong. I was young. If I just closed my eyes, then I could go anywhere. Dream of any place. Imagination set the pace. My heart was happy there. What a shame that you came and told me, said my dreams can't come true. Don't be foolish, give up your wish. Big things aren't for you. And how you scold and chide me, forever criticize me, but now I think I know the truth. You
Intuit Giants maximize your refund with the power of TurboTax and QuickBooks.
There's a day when our hearts will be broken, when a shadow will cast out the light, and our eyes cry a million tears, help won't arrive. There's a day when our courage collapses, and our breath suddenly leave us behind. Creatures of darkness will triumph, the sun won't rise. When we lost all hope, it's a come to be, and the skies rain blood, and the end draws near. I may fall, but not like this. It won't be by your hand. I may fall, not this place, not tonight. I may fall, bring it all. It's not enough to take me down. I may fall. There's a place where we'll stand outnumbered, where the wolves and the soulless will rise. In the time of our final moment, every dream dies. There's a place where our shields will lay shattered, and the fears all that's left in our hearts. Strength and a courage have run out, we fall apart. When we lose our faith and forsake our friends, when the moon is gone and we've reached our end. I may There's a moment that changes a life when we do something that no one else can. And the path that we've taken will lead us one final stand. The moment we'll make a decision not to cower and crash on the ground. The moment we face our worst demons, our courage found. When we stand with friends, and we won't retreat, and we stand down dead, and the taste is sweet. I may fall, but not takes an unexpected turn. A friend is suddenly gone. We can cry our lives away, but if they were here they'd say, go forward, you must keep moving on.
me started looking backwards to move on. Strong yet open-hearted, accept leaving when leavings come. Gone, didn't see it coming. Never said I love you, hope you knew. Now my bags are packed and my sails are tacked, and my course is marked by stars.
The aftermath is secondary. It's time to do it now and do it loud. Killjoys, make some noise.
Drugs, give me drugs. I don't need it, but I'll sell what you got. Take the cash and I'll keep it. 8 legs to the wall. Hit the gas, kill 'em all. And we crawl, and we crawl, and we crawl. Two people detonator. Love, give me love, give me love. I don't need it, but I'll take what I want from your heart. And I'll keep it in a bag, in a box. Put an X on the floor. Give me more, give me more, give me more. Shut up and sing it with me. From my security to every enemy. We're on your property, standing in V-formation. Let's pull out a ray in plastic surgery. Keep your apology, give us more detonation. Oh, let me tell you about the sad man. Shut up and let me see your jazz hands. Remember when you were a man? Thought you was Batman and hit the party with a gas can. Just being an animal. You run the company like a Kennedy. I think we'd rather be burning your information. Blowing out a ray in plastic surgery. Keep your apology, give us more detonation. And right here, right now, all the way in Battery City, the little children raise their open, filthy palms like tiny daggers up to heaven. And all the juvie halls and the riddling rats ask angels made from neon and garbage scream out, what will save us? And the sky opened up. Everybody wants to change the world. Everybody wants to change the world, but no one wants to die. Wanna try, wanna try, wanna try, wanna try, wanna try now. I'm being dead. When I was a young boy, my father took me into the city to see a marching band. He said, son, when you grow up, would you be the savior of the broken, the beaten and the damned? He said, will you defeat them, your demons and all the non-believers, the plans that they have made? Because one day I'll leave you a phantom to lead you in the summer to join the Black Parade. Grow up
Tell you what, let's get... Hi, welcome back. Certainly glad to see you today. Tell you what, let's get right on today and have them run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with us at home. While they're doing that, as usual, let me show you what I have. Today I have my standard old pre-stretched double prime canvas, and I've just covered it with a very thin coat of liquid white. That's all. It's wet and ready to go, so I thought today maybe we'd let's do a little winter scene, something that's, let's just see what happens. Let's start with black and blue, or blue and black. And we just sort of mix them together on the brush. More black than blue, though. I thought we'd just play a little bit today. It's such a wonderful day here, and I hope it is wherever you're at. So just have a good time with this. There we are. We'll just pop in a little sky here and there. Something about like so. Where I'm leaving some spots open intentionally. Just little spots. I don't want this to be a flat old dead sky. I want it to have some life, some action to it. Shoot. Tell you what, maybe we can get a little crazy here. Oh, I've got several of these brushes going. I can grab another one, put a little touch, not much, a little touch of alizarin crimson. Maybe right along here, just so it's not too bleak. Sometimes winter scenes can be very, very depressing. We'll put just a little pink in there just to give it a little warmth in the background. I don't want much. I still want it to have a distinct winter taste to it. There we are. And we'll just play some of that right down to the edge of that pink. And that's basically all it takes. There, blend it a little bit. And that's good enough. That'll give us a sky that, as I say, it has a little life in it, some actions happening. It's not just a flat old dead sky. You can see light areas, and I like that in the sky. Shoot, that's working pretty good. Maybe we'll do the same thing down here. Doesn't matter. Anything that we don't use, we'll just turn it into a shadow. If this is a winter scene, maybe we'll have some snow. You got to have shadows in the snow. Or maybe it'll turn out to be water. Who knows? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, because we can fix anything that can happen here. We don't concern ourselves with mistakes. We just have happy accidents. There. See, something about like that. And it's a good way to clean the excess paint off your brush. Okay, let's wash the old brush now. If you've painted with me before, you know that's really the fun part of this. It's really the fun part, just washing the brush. There. Isn't that fun? I usually just wipe the brush on a paper towel to assure it's as dry as I can possibly get it. But you'd be surprised at how dry it gets just beating it like that. Let's take black, Prussian blue, a little touch of crimson. Black, blue, crimson, and I'm going to get some white. Just take a little bit of white. I'm going to mix up, put a little more blue in there. Yeah, I want it to have sort of a blue cast to it. Oh, I like it. I like that. That's looking good. Maybe a little more white. You just mix it till it gets to the flavor you like. I think that's wonderful. It's sort of a drab blue color. It's not real bright. There, it's a nice winter color. All right, let's grab an old brush. Load it full of color. We'll use the old fan brush today. Maybe in our world, back here, somewhere in the background. See, this color is not far away from the color that's already on the canvas. Let's just push upward today and make us a little tree. There, it's pretty close to the color that's on the canvas. And that's what we're looking for. I don't want it to be too much farther away. Pretty close, pretty close. All right. There, maybe another little tree right there. And you decide how many trees live in your world. It's up to you. Totally and completely up to you. As you've probably heard me say before, to me that's what's so fantastic about painting, is that each and every person will paint differently. And that's what makes it special. If we all painted the same way, what a boring time it would be. You would know what the finished painting was going to be before you start. But because people are different, paintings are different, that's the beauty of it. That's what makes it very special. It allows you to show your individuality. There. How many trees do we want here? It's up to you. You decide. You decide. Maybe you want a whole forest. Maybe you just want a few. Maybe there's a little baby one right there. He's not so big yet. Make up little stories. You know, people look at you like you're a little strange, but that's all right. Painters are expected to be different. Let's have one more right there. One more. As I say, painters are unique. I take advantage of that all the time too. Now then, I'm going to take the old 2-inch brush. I want to create the illusion of mist down here at the base of this. The illusion of mist. So I'm going to take the old 2-inch brush. I want to create the illusion of mist down here at the base of this. The illusion of mist. So just by tapping, and we're just going to softly disappear over here. I want these trees to just sort of look like they're just sitting in a little misty area. Just breathing in the cold air. Whew. There we go. Something like that. But now we have a whole bunch of trees in the background. It's very misty, cold looking, and already you have the impression of winter. That easy. All right. Let's get a clean 2-inch brush. Time to have some fun. Let's have us a little snow in here. Now to paint snow with a 2-inch brush, very easy. Load it full of color, full of titanium white. And we already have this gray color on the canvas we put on and talked about it being like a shadow. Now it's going to pick that up. See there? And we just let it sort of disappear over here. We don't care. We don't care. That easy. But isn't that fantastic? Snow is one of the easier things to paint in this technique. Okay. You ready for a little fun today? Maybe, tell you what, we filmed this show in Indiana, and there's a lot of old barns here that just fascinate me. Let's paint an old barn today. One of the easiest ways is to scrape out a basic shape. Just sort of scrape it out. It doesn't have to be exact, and you're not committed. You're not committed here. So let's just decide what kind of old barn we want. Maybe it comes down like that. Maybe it has a place over here for the cow to sleep. It doesn't matter. You decide. Barns come in all kinds of shapes. Farmers are like painters. They do it their way. Yeah. That's what's so great about being a farmer in this fantastic country. You can do it your way. All right. I have a lot of friends here that are farmers. Have to get a brownie point in with them because they got the best food, and I like to eat. All right, on the other side, about the same distance here. We'll just scrape out. I hope you can see. There's just a basic shape there. And as I mentioned earlier, you are not committed. Van Dyke Brown, Dark Sienna. You can change your mind at this point. A little roll of paint. Now let's begin picking out the little things in here. There's the back eave. See there? That easy. Okay, now then. The old barn comes down. Bloop, 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 bloop. Got to make those noises. There it is. See? All we're doing here is blocking in a little color. We'll come back and do a barnectomy after a while and cut it off wherever we want it. But right now, all we're doing is putting in the dark. putting in some dark color. There. Here we go. Bloop, bloop. See there? Sorry I make those little noises. I sort of forget, because I really do make them. Even when I'm by myself, I make little noises. Sort of makes things work better for me. All right, and over here, there we go. See? That's really about all we're looking for to block it in. Right in here would be a little dark paint. Okay, now let's take some white, dark sienna, a little Van Dyke in there, maybe even a little crimson too. What the heck? Give it a little warm feeling. Don't overmix the paint. Cut off a little roll of paint, and then we can go up in here and just barely touch. Just let it graze, see? Let it graze. It looks like old wood. If you've painted barns and cabins and stuff before, you know, I really like to paint old things. I'm an avid collector of antique glass, for example. I like old things. When you get my age, you have a tendency to like old things. You can relate to them. There we are. And I am old, older than dirt. Let's take a little Van Dyke brown, and I want to darken that color so that it's darker over here on the side, because maybe not as much light's going to hit over here. See, that's much darker. Now then, let's put some boards in there. For that, we'll just take Van Dyke brown, and we'll just put indication here and there of some little boards, some slabs that live in here. There. See there? I wish the barn was this easy to build for real. My father was a carpenter, and I built a few barns. It's not this easy. There. It's not this easy. There we are. Something about like that. Now then, we need a roof on this barn so the cow don't get cold. Let's take some titanium white. Since we said this was winter, maybe the snow is there. Let's just outline it so that way you'll get a nice straight edge when you pull it down. Watch. See there? There we go. Now then, a little more of the white. A little touch more. There. There we go. Isn't that neat? Looks like snow's piled up on top of the old barn. A little bit over there, because you'd see some on that side too. You would also see some here. And, oh, we got a whole section to go here. There, let me get some more white. Same thing though. I want to outline it a little bit so you'll have a nice straight edge. Then when you pull it, some nice straight edge. There we go. Something about like that. Okay. There. But you can just move it, pull it, work it any way that you want it. All right, we need a door. Old cow's got to have a way to get in and out there. Let's take some Van Dyke. Decide where your door lives, and once again, don't worry about the bottom. We're going to do a barnectomy, as I mentioned earlier. We'll cut this rascal off wherever we want it to be, which is about time to do now. Let's say the old barn right along in there. See? Didn't take too much cutting on that one. Sometimes I paint them where I have to cut a lot off the bottom because I get carried away. Get telling stories, and things begin just looking good, and I don't know when to stop. All right, that gives us a pretty nice little barn. There it is. Let's find our old 2-inch brush. Old 2-inch brush. It's got a little snow on it. A little snow. Let's go up in here, and we'll put another plane. Come right in there. There we are. Watch that brown snow. You know what they say about it. There we are. About in there. Over over here on the other side, we'll just bring it right up like that. And put a little snow around his foot. That easy. Once again, snow is so easy to paint when you're using the big old 2-inch brush. So easy to paint. And a clean fan brush. There's one. Looks pretty good. Find us a place to work on the old palette. Got to have a big palette. Big palette's very, very helpful. It's almost as important as having an easel that holds your paint firmly, your painting firmly. When you're using 2-inch brushes, you really need a good, firm easel, a large palette. It'll pay you tremendous dividends. Let's mix up some color here right on the brush. A little Prussian blue, black, brown, a little crimson. All them good colors. Maybe, okay, here we go. Maybe right here. I'm gonna put a little paint thinner, just to thin the paint, it's a little thick. When you paint just a little bit, pretty soon you begin to get a feel for it when it touches. If it don't want to pull just right, then you can add a little thinner. But don't do that unless you have to. I just knew the paint wasn't going to come off the brush unless I did. I'm going to have a happy little tree. He lives right there. Just a little guy, right on the side of the barn. Let's go on the other side over here. You know me. Bravery test. Here we go. Bigger tree. Big old tree. I like these evergreens. They're so much fun to make. And they're very simple. Very, very simple. Takes a little practice like everything else. Everything in your life takes a little practice. But you can learn to paint this technique faster than any painting technique that I have ever seen. And I think I've tried just about all of them. There. And oils are so forgiving. And they possess a richness that no other medium possesses. I think that's why the old masters painted mostly in oils. They just have a richness. Other mediums to me are very flat when they're dry. There. And they're harder. This is the easiest because it's very forgiving. You can't make a mistake here. All right, let's take some of that nice gray color we had. Maybe right in here. Maybe there's a little path that just works its way out. Just works its way out here. Something about like that. We just put some gray in there so it can come right on out. Now then, put some highlights on our little evergreens. Let me clean off another spot. Running out of room today. Running out of room. There we go. Now, I'll take liquid white, titanium white, and phthalo blue. I changed the blue. I've been using Prussian blue through the entire painting. Now I want to use phthalo blue because I want to highlight these trees, and the phthalo blue will stand out a little bit. Just want it to stand out. This is a blue spruce. I just made a decision. Command level decision right here. See? You decide what kind of tree lives in your world. All right. Mix up a little more of that phthalo blue and white. Don't want that other little tree left out right there. Now you have to decide which tree's in the foreground. I think the small one here is. So you do the one behind him first. How's that? See? And the little tree over here. Don't forget him. He gets sad. He'll get sad. But we'll give him a little color on here. There we are. See? That easy. That easy. Okay. Well, let's try here a little bit of titanium white. Allow it to pick up some of that color. Allow it to pick it up intentionally. So that way you get all these different things happening. Isn't this neat? These whole winter scenes are a lot of fun, and I really think they might be the easiest ones to do. There we are. And we just blend that a little bit till it looks nice and soft and pretty. And this little tree over here. Now I'm intentionally grabbing some of that dark color. See, we'll put him up on a little hill, sort of. That easy. See, he sort of sits up high. Isn't that neat? But just by pulling some of that color that you can create that illusion. It's unbelievable to have this kind of power. Unbelievable. There we go. All right, see the little path? It's coming right along there, maybe. There we go. You just decide where your little path is. There we are. And you can take your fan brush that has the gray on it and just polish the edges up a little bit, however you want them. So, because we can just go back and forth and work this until it gets just what we consider perfect. And sometimes it's nice to, we'll just pop in a little deuter here, then lift up. Lift it up. Make it look like little bushes and weeds that live in there. Maybe there's one coming out here. I don't know. You decide. You decide where they are. But you have little patches of bushes and sticks and twigs, limbs and twigs that grow everywhere. There we go. See? All right. We'll just use that same brush. Ready to get crazy? Let's take some Van Dyke Brown. Mostly Van Dyke Brown. There's a little black on the brush, I think. It doesn't matter. In our world, in our world. You ready for your bravery test? Okay, here it comes. There. Okay, let's give him a friend. Let's give him a friend. There. Something about like that. Maybe this is an old birch tree that lives out here. It's up to you. You could make him a birch or whatever. You could have an old oak tree if you wanted him. Doesn't matter. There. Something like so. There we are. You know, it's hard to believe. This is the 31st series of The Joy of Painting. Good gosh, there's over 400 shows now. It's almost unreal. Almost. I want to thank you for allowing us to come to you for this long. We've been doing this show now for well over 11 years. 11 years. And you've made me feel very special to invite me into your home and to let me be part of your family. Thank you very much. If you hadn't got to see all the shows in your area and you would like to, give your station a call. They're available to them. They're available to them. Or if you want to see some of them over again, let them know. It's the only way they know. A little brown with paint thinner here. I'm just going to put on some little limbs. It's too cold for there to be any leaves on here. They went to Florida for the winter. Now leaves don't go to Florida. They just fall off a tree. I know. Somebody will write and tell me they're not there. There we go. Anywhere you want them to be. Anywhere. Just paint thinner. And off you go. There. See? And don't worry about what's behind it. When you paint it, just paint. Don't worry about it. Nature didn't worry. You don't worry. Okay, a few more little limbs here. Shoot, I think we're about to the point we got this rascal looking pretty good. Maybe there's a little stick right in there. I don't know. Maybe, let's go right over in here. Maybe over in here we can put the indication of just a few little twigs and sticks and things that are living everywhere. Something about like that. Shoot, I think with that we've done having finished painting. Let's take a little bread and we'll sign this rascal. Really hope you've enjoyed this little painting. I hope you'll try it. It'll give you a lot of experience using the equipment, and with experience comes confidence. And with confidence, you know you can do anything that you believe you can do. From all of us here, until next time, I'd like to wish you happy painting. God bless, my friend. Hi, welcome back. Certainly glad you could join us today, because today I thought we'd do a fantastic little painting that I think you'll enjoy. So I tell you what. Go up and they get a little nasty sometimes. One of them little rascals can. So if you're a raccoon, be careful when they grow up. They're pretty tough little characters. But when they're babies like this, God's never made a more delightful little thing. And they're just like feeding a little baby. Oh, they just lay there, and when they're done, you pat them on the back and they burp. I get sort of carried away with these little characters. Shoot. My mother lives with me, and her and I have all kinds of these little characters. Isn't that precious little devil, though? See the milk running out of his mouth? He's not very neat. There. Okay, there we are. We're just putting some little things here and there. And layers here. I'm just varying the greens back and forth. Little cad yellow, little Indian yellow, little yellow ochre once in a while. And now and then, at least a little touch of bright red. And the bright red, believe it or not, is your duller. It will make the green turn brownish. So use a little bright red when you want to dull the color. There. But mostly greens in this particular painting, I think. And every once in a while I'll dip back into the liquid clear just to get a little more of the thinner, just to make it thinner. You could use paint thinner. I like sometimes to use this clear because when it dries, any place that you put the clear will have a nice shine to it. It's almost like the painting was glazed. There we go. But think about how the little bushes and stuff. Oh, I know, I see something here. Let's take, you know me, I get crazy. Let's take a little of the dark sienna and the Van Dyke brown and white and mix it together. And leave it sort of marbled like it. Don't over mix it, just leave it sort of like it. Get a little roll of paint right on the edge of the knife. Now then, in my world, there's gonna be a little path here. Just a little path right through here. Like that. There, just start, let it get wider and wider as it comes towards you. Look at that. But see how that color just jumps out at you against that dark background? That black gesso is one of the neatest things we've ever come up with. I really love it. And the more you rub this, the more it'll pick up the green color underneath. There, and the darker it'll get. So you have to make decisions. Maybe, I don't know where this path's going to go. Guess we better make a decision here pretty quick. Maybe it comes on out here, I don't know. Wherever you want it. And in your world, you decide where you want your little path to be. And maybe you want to paint a little raccoon sitting right out there. You can do that. You can do anything that you want to do on this piece of canvas. Absolutely anything. Let's mix a little more of our highlight color here. And all I'm doing, once again, is tapping, sort of give it a little push. So there's a little touch of paint right under the end of the bristles. And begin thinking about, well, maybe right in here. Maybe there's a happy little bush that lives right there. Just think about the shape of that little rascal. Let it come right on out to the path. Get darker and darker and darker down toward the base. Use less pressure. Barely touch. Barely touch. Just let it graze down in there. There. Now then, maybe up in here. How about right there? This one is a little darker. A little darker. It's back here more in the shadows. So he's a little quieter. Just a happy little tree that lives back here, and he watches everything. And he's got a little friend right there. There he is. There he is. I like landscapes so much, I think, because when I was a kid, we lived way out in the woods. They had a pipe sunlight in where we lived. It was so far out. And I spent a great deal of time in the woods. There wasn't many other kids around, and I had to learn to play with the creatures that were in the woods. That's why I like animals and little squirrels and raccoons and all those things so much, because they're very special. Very special. And when I got old, I guess I didn't lose that. I still like them. I wish I could take them all home with me. After a while, you have to sort of draw the line somewhere. Otherwise, your house looks like a zoo. There we are. Okay. Now then, we can take, we'll just take a little fan brush here. That's number 3 fan brush, doesn't matter. And you can soften these edges very gently, so it looks like you're in shadow underneath some of these little bushes and stuff. And it's a nice way to clean it all up and bring it together. There, very gently, just soften them. There we go. Okay. Now, we got to start making some big decisions here pretty soon. We'll put a couple more little sticks in and think about it for a minute. Use a little bit of the midnight black with paint thinner. Maybe there's a nice tree trunk right there that we can see. Paint should be extremely thin though. Very, very thin. There. Maybe there's a little tree right here that we can make out. And here and there, wherever. And you put a few in that are lighter color here and there if you want to. Just look at your particular painting, because every painting that's ever done is going to be different. No two will ever look alike. And that's what makes it so fantastic. You don't want your paintings to just look alike. There. All right, let's start on this old big tree. That's the fun part of this whole painting. I'm going to load a fan brush with just midnight black. Just midnight black. There. Okay, now then. With the black gesso, we have a basic shape in here. So all we have to do is just sort of fill it in good and dark. There we go. Maybe a little tree. It goes right on off like that. There. This is going to be a huge tree. I want the edges to be sort of gnarly. Is that a word? Gnarly? You know what I mean, all bumpety. Maybe it comes down like that. Maybe there's, yeah, let's do this. Maybe there's a big old root that comes right out here in the path nearly. Because if you're walking down the path here and you get tired, This is where you'd sit and maybe you had a little picnic lunch. You could sit there and kick back, put your foot up, watch the little squirrels play. Yeah, I like to do that. I'm a big time hunter. I take my camera to the woods and shoot them with a camera. There. Okay, do the other side of the old tree. He comes down, maybe like that. Maybe like that. This tree's got a lot of arms. There. In your tree, you decide how many arms you want it to have and put them wherever you think they should be. And if you look around, maybe out in your yard, you've got a big tree that you'd like to put in your painting. You can get a basic idea and a basic shape just from that tree and drop that rascal in. And you're not committed. Trees grow, they're like people. They grow just about every way imaginable. Every way imaginable. And all are wonderful. There. Now then, I go back to my liner brush. Put a lot of paint thinner in it. A lot of paint thinner. I want to make this very thin. Very thin. Now then, maybe here and there, we'll put the indication of a few more little branches and stuff that are just sort of dripping off there. They just hang around and have a good time. There we go. See, wherever you want them. Wherever. And when you're doing this, don't just try to copy. Do what you want to do. Art, painting should be very individual. Very individual. We all see nature through different eyes. And you should paint what you see, not what somebody else tells you is right or wrong. Paint what you want. Maybe there's a big old limb that lives right there. Got to make those little noises or it didn't work. There we go. See? There he is. That easy. A little more of the paint thinner. Maybe there's one over here that just goes right on off the canvas. It doesn't matter. As I say, trees are so individual. Any way that you want them, that's the right way. Now then, we'll take a little dark sienna, Van Dyke brown, mix them together. About like so. We want it marbled. Pull across, get our little roll of paint. Now then, this is the fun part. Touch, no pressure, no pressure. Let it just float down the tree. Just float. Barely, barely touching. Barely touching. Just float. This old tree limb out here. Let him come down. But see there? No pressure. I know you get tired of hearing me say that over and over. But that's the secret to it. That's what makes that paint break and look like that. Is the fact that there is no pressure on the knife. It's just like, well, if you've painted mountains with me in some of the previous shows, it's the same principle. No pressure at all. And if you learn to do that, then you can use this knife to do, well, you can do entire paintings. In some of the series we've done in the past, entire paintings have been done using nothing but the knife. Now we'll take a little white and Prussian blue. I want a very dark blue. And over here on this side, I'm going to put just a little hint of blue. And that's to indicate like a little reflected light that just plays through there. Just here and there. And go back, take our black. And then we can pull limbs over the top of other limbs. You have to make decisions. Which limb's in front, which one's behind. You can do that. See? That pulls that limb right directly in front. That easy. That easy. Now, back to our little half-size round brush. A little bit of the highlight color. And down here around his little foots, we can begin some little grassy things that live in there. Back in here, very dark. This is behind the tree, being a lot of shadow. Very dark. Oh, there. And just put in all kinds of things. This little brush works so well. I don't know why I didn't have it a long time ago. There. See? But just let all those little things happen. This is what begins creating those illusions of depth and distance. There we go, something like so. And then we can take our liner brush, a little bit of that brown and white. Some of these larger limbs here, you can put a little touch of highlight on them. Something like that. Something like that. You can get a little crazy. Maybe right up in here, we just draw a little silhouette, maybe. Little silhouette. There's my little squirrel. Put him a big bushy tail. And he sits up here and he watches the whole world go by in this beautiful little forest. See? It's just a little silhouette. That's probably Peapod, the pocket squirrel. We showed him in one of the earlier series. All right, I think we're about to the point we can sign this one. Take a little red, come right down in here, and we'll sign it. Certainly hope you've enjoyed this painting. Try these black gesso paintings. I believe you'll find that they work so fantastic. Even if you've never painted, these will work for you. From all of us here, I'd like to wish you a happy painting, and God bless, my friend.